Good morning, all of you. Let us start our class. Actually, just recall what are the topics we have discussed in our previous classes. Initially, you have to know what is drive and what is electrical drive, and what are the topics you are going to study that are related to drive. Just of all, see the screen. Drive means a device in which control of speed is going to be existed. The device can be called as a drive. Otherwise, the drives employed for electric motors are known as electric drives. See the screen carefully. First of all, a system which is employed for motion control. That means internally motion is going to be done. That means it is going to be rotating with some speed. And the speed must be controlled. That corresponding system is known as a drive. And whenever this drive is going to be employed for electric motors that are known as electrical drives. And when compared to electrical drives to other systems, it has some advantages and it has some disadvantages also. Advantages is just the screen. It is independent of environmental conditions. That means irrespective of environment, our drive is going to be run, and from this drive, the speed is going to be controlled. And in this drive, you can control the speed in two categories. That is forward motion and reverse motion. And in 4 quadrants. That's why it can operate on all 4 quadrants of speed torque characteristics. Forward motoring mode, forward braking mode, reverse motoring mode, and reverse braking mode. That's why you're getting 4 quadrants. It can be started easily. Another advantage. Always the drives are running with high efficiency. And it can be suitable for high frequencies. And the most advantages of and the preferable advantages of electrical drives are it has a long life. It has low maintenance, and noise produced by these electrical drives are also very, very low. So these are the 5 advantages of electrical drive. No problem, I will share the PPT for you. And disadvantages. Just wait. For the electrical drives, the disadvantage is initial cost is very high. And the next one is for any device or any system, simply you have to observe the 2 responses. One is steady state response and the second one is dynamic response. Almost all for all the systems, steady state response is very good, and dynamic response is going to be changed for one to another systems. Whenever we are coming to this drives, the dynamic system response is very poor. Is the most disadvantage for this drive. And whenever you are controlling the speed for braking, and in order to control the speed according to the required levels, additional equipment is required. So it is another disadvantage. For braking and control, additional equipment is required. And next one is output power obtained is very, very low here. You are getting low output power. And the next one is advantages. That means at which fields you can prefer these drives. Just see number of applications are written here, just like traction drive system, rectifiers, agriculture machineries, electrical pumps, active power filters, power factor compensators, electrical pumps, fans, etc. And these categories, just I am writing here a small number, but in practical, in lot of practical applications, you can apply this electrical drives. And come to our topic, that is drives. Just wait. Okay. Sorry. Now we are moving for another thing, that is what is a drive and how a drive is going to be existed. That means general layout of electrical drive. Whenever a person is asking, explain the drive, means it is enough to explain all these 6 blocks. With these 6 blocks, you can explain the operation of your drive and how the drive is going to be controlled or operated. Just listen, I will explain all these components one by one. First one is source. Source means it will going to explain what the source we are going to use, either AC source or DC source. According to the required levels, the DC, just like 6 volts, 12 volts, 24, 30, etc. If it is AC at high powers, 11 kV, 22 kV, 33 kV. Remember one thing, these drives can be applicable for high voltage applications also. That means at high power ratings, you can easily apply these drives. So this is the source. Just there are 2 types of sources, AC source and DC source. Depending upon the requirement and availability, you are going to prefer this. And the second one is power modulator. Simply, you can call this power modulator as power converter. Work or the behavior of this power modulator is, this power modulator converts the source into required voltage for the motor. And remember, in our subjects, we are discussing about DC motors. So that means the input power, just please mute yourself, all of you.
18B81 N0 248. 19B85 N0.
What happened to you? So in this, you have to know, in our subject, you are going to know about DC motors. So that power required to run this motor is DC. So for example, let us think our available source is DC, but the source available is 220 volts. But for this motor, in order to run, just we require a supply of 50 volts. That is enough for us. So this 220 volt supply is going to be reduced into 50 volts. Only DC to DC conversion is going to be done here, but power levels are going to be changed. So here our power modulator done the work as it will reduce the input supply from 220 to 50 volts. So from this 50 volts, our motor is going to be rotate. And from this motor, that is motor prime mover, a load is going to be connected, that is a rotating part. That is nothing but a small drive. And listen, these two are synchronized. That means these two, motor and load, are going to be rotated with same speed. And by using this sensing unit, the sensing unit means, just I will take the notation for you for your convenience. This sensing unit is going to sense the 2 parameters, either current or speed. Both are output parameters. And depending upon the situations, if a person want to know only output current, so the sensing unit is going to be measure output current only. No, some person wants output speed. So by using the same sensing unit, you can measure the speed also. And this measured speed is going to be given to the control unit. The purpose of control unit is, this control unit compare the reference signal given here with the output speed or current given by the sensing unit. By comparing these 2 parameters, this control unit going to control the power modulator, indirectly the motor also. So with this control unit only, you are going to run this load at the required speed. Maybe it is above the rated speed or below the rated speed. That means you can increase the speed or decrease the speed. This total work is going to be done by this control unit only. And remember one thing, by using this sensing unit, you can measure output current and speed both at a time also. If only one is required, one is also going to be measured. So this is the total thing, that is the work going to be done in an electrical drive. By explaining all these components, electrical drive working is completed. right? Can I move on or can I explain again? Please respond.
Move on, madam.
Okay, right. So this is just a conversion which is going to be done in power modulator. Just wait. It is the power modulator. That means energy conversion. How many types of energy conversions are present here? That is represented by a circle. So, and I will provide the material, no problem for you. This is the explanation. Just see the screen. It is the explanation for the above layout one by one. Source AC and DC. Just see the screen for a glimpse of seconds. I will move on. Just read the statements existing in the screen. All the things are explained by me in the earlier classes. You want the screen back? Please tell me. Okay, right? I am moving on. Our next topic is what is the torque equation? That means this torque equation we are going to derive from our basic layout of the drive. Just we will go back. See the picture. In this picture, motor and load are going to be coupled to each other. Is it right or not? Exactly. These two devices are coupled and these two are going to be rotated with same speed. But remember one thing, these two, that is motor and load, are not rotating in the same direction. And this concept you have learned in your control system. That is, whenever you are going with the, what is that, transfer function of armature controlled DC motor, the same concept you are going to discuss there. That is, here it is the motor. For this motor, a load is going to be connected here. Our motor is going to be rotated in the downward direction, whereas our load is going to be rotated in the upward direction. Just see this. It is the arrow. This speed omega is represented by angular speed of M indicates motor. T1 or TL is nothing but load torque. T is torque, that is related to motor torque. So above variables are T and TL, not T1, TL. Are related to torque of motor and load. Wm is angular velocity of motor shaft. W is related to motor, WL is related to load. And just recollect the statements from your control systems of transfer function of armature controlled DC motor. This motor and load are going to be rotate in opposite directions. So actually in control systems we have two types, translation system and rotational systems. Actually, our drive is a rotating drive. So we can't take the difference as translation systems. We have to take reference as rotational systems only. In our rotational system, the mass is going to be modified as momentum of inertia Z. Normal velocity V is going to be modified as angular velocity omega. So it is the basic difference. So our next, what the work is, you have to calculate the torque equation. And actually we know that under steady state or equilibrium state, the motor torque T is always equal to load torque TL, right? And at the same concept, here we are applying basic fundamental torque equations from this drive. T is equal to, just I will write here, from this drive, we know that motor is rotating in towards downward direction. So motor torque T is equal to, what happens? Load torque TL plus this drive is going to be rotated with some speed, that is omega m, that is angular velocity. From the control systems, you can write here as d by, with respect to time, d by dt of j into omega m. Just wait and observe the screen. It is the equation. What the thing? I have written here. Just see this. T is equal to TL plus. Actually, initially you have to apply it for input torque and output torque. That's why you're getting the expression like this. T is equal to TL plus d by dt of j omega m. But some person is asking that T minus TL. It becomes d by dt of j omega m. J is also going to be vary with respect to time. That is moment of inertia. And angular velocity is also going to be changed. So you have to apply d by dt of uv formula here. So applying uv formula, j into d by dt of omega m plus omega m into d by dt of j. And just an assumption is, if the drive is having constant inertia, so there is no change with respect to time. J is constant. So what he is saying that dj by dt is 0. So we have to avoid this dj by dt term. So avoid this. This value is 0. Finally, you are getting T minus TL is equal to J into d omega m by dt. Take this load term in with respect to RHS side. So finally, you are getting same dt is equal to TL plus J d omega m. But irrespective of all these steps, one step is enough for us. By drawing this expression, the same consideration is going to be here. That is, the moment of inertia is constant here for this given drive. Then you can write this expression as T is equal to TL plus the J is constant. So you can take out from this derivative. So J into d by dt of omega m. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear or not?
Yes, ma'am.
So no need for all these derivations. A simple thing. We are initially taking that J is constant for this given mass. So finally you are getting the expression like this. And the last topic we have discussed here is, just wait, I will remove all these annotations. All right. So we'll go for the next topic, that is load equalization and nature and classification of load torques. First of all, you have to know what is the basic nature of torque. And in these drives, you are focusing on only two torques. One is motor torque and load torque. And for any system, the torque is simply depends upon the speed. Just in normal way, you can say that For some situations, the torque is a constant value. And for all the systems, the torque is directly proportional to speed. That means the torque is related to speed only. So we have to divide the relation. So depending upon this, you are getting 4 classifications. That is classification of load torque. First one is always the constant torque. So I am assigning some constant value K. Second one is torque is directly proportional to speed. Okay. The torque is proportional to square of the speed. And the fourth one is torque is inversely proportional to the speed. Whenever a person is asking or explain regarding the classification of load torque means just it is enough by drawing the waveforms for these 4 categories. Whenever the torque is a constant, it is proportional to speed or inversely proportional to speed or proportional to square of the speed. Draw the graphs. Already you know from the signals and systems, if there is a proportionality constant is there, how the graph is going to be existed. If it is inversely proportional, how the graph is going to be existed. Just to see the graphs. If you have any doubt, ask me. It is the graph of constant torque. That means the load having the constant torque characteristics. Just draw the torque characteristic graph means you have to draw the graph in between torque and speed. I am moving the screen one by one. If you have any doubt regarding these characteristics, ask me or put your messages in the chat box. Just I am moving on one by one. In this graph, the torque is directly proportional to the speed. These are the characteristics of a drive when the torque is proportional to square of the speed. Applications are also given to here. And the last one, when the torque is inversely proportional to the speed. Just it is a 4 marks question. Explain the classification. And the next. Just wait. How the classification of load torque is depending in general manner, not depending upon the characteristics. What happens with the load torque means active load torque or passive load torque. Nature is not just nature of load torque is here. What is the nature of load torque? One nature is active and second one is passive. Can anyone say what is the main difference between this active load torque and passive load torque? In the last class, we have discussed regarding these 2 torques. Anyone please respond? Great. Just observe the lines highlighted by me. If the direction of rotation of drive is reversed, in this condition also, our motor is maintaining the same sign. That means if the drive speed is reversed, in this condition also, our drive motor speed is rotating in the same sign. It comes under active load. Listen carefully. You are observing the load torque characteristics. Our drive is coupled to our DC motor. Whenever the drive speed is reversed, but the motor is rotating on the same speed without the sign change, that comes under active load. And whenever the drive rotation is reversed, at this condition, just wait, our motor speed is also going to be changed. That is nothing but comes under passive load torque. So it is the main difference between the active load and passive load. If the sign is changed, this means motor sign motor speed is changed in the opposite direction, then it comes under passive. If the motor speed is rotating in the same side, it comes under active loads, right? And the last topic here is steady state stability. Just listen, the background for this topic is, depending upon the different subjects and different criteria, you can explain the stability analysis in number of ways. No problem for this. With respect to time analysis, that is with respect to time and voltage, time and current, you can say whether the system is stable or not. With respect to the output values, you can say the system is stable or not. With respect to poles and holes placement, you can say the system is stable or not. And depending upon the graphs, that is Bode plot, Nyquist plot, etc. By using these plots also, you can say the system is stable or not. But come to our topic, that is drive. Only drive means here only two torques are present. One is low torque and second one is motor torque. Here the motor torque is represented with TD, that is nothing but driving torque of motor. And here the simple concept is going to be present with respect to these two categories. That means two parameters. You have to say whether the system is in steady state mode or not. That is stable mode or not. Just A, B, C, D are the 4 points and related to 4 graphs. Say, observe my screen, it is graph 1, that is speed torque characteristics of 1, 2, 3, 4. And these 4 graphs are easily understandable and indicated by A, B, C, D. Among these 4 curves, you have to say which curve is present in steady state mode. From the previous class, I can simply say graphs A and C are present in stable mode. Just wait. So among these 4 graphs, I can simply say the graphs A and C are comes under steady state. Anyone having any doubt regarding these graphs which are discussed in the previous class? You can ask me. Otherwise, we will move on.
మేడం ఇది స్టేబుల్ అన్స్టేబుల్ అని చెప్పి చెప్పారు కదా
Right.
ఒకసారి చెప్పండి మేడం నాకు